everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amy, and I am on a financial freedom journey with my family. Today, I am sharing our June 2022 budget. I'm so excited because this is the kickoff of summer, my favorite few months. I'm very excited. We do have some extra expenses this month that we have not had in past months, and that will kind of eat into our money that we have for financial goals. So it's a little bit bittersweet, but I will talk about that a little bit more later in the video. Let's go ahead and get started. So for June, we are expecting our regular W-2 salary of $7,000. That has not changed. We do typically have extra income coming in from side hustles. However, we don't budget for that on a month-to-month basis. That money just goes towards our financial goals as like extra money to hit our goal. So we just base our budget on our income from our regular jobs. My husband and I both work full time. I'm actually going back to work from my maternity leave at the end of this month. So I will be back to work full time in the month of June. That is our full-time income. Both my husband and I work full time outside the home. Hopefully that makes sense. I know a lot of you guys find me on these videos, so that's a little bit of backstory. We do have 3 kids. We had a baby in January. For our fixed expenses, these are our expenses that don't typically change from month to month. We do have our mortgage, which is at $1,284. That is for July 1st. So we do budget this money for the 1st of the following month. Then we have our cell phones. So this is for both my husband and I's cell phones. This comes out on the 20th, and that is $130. Then we have Netflix, which also comes out on the 20th, which is $16. And then we have Peloton, which if you are a Peloton member, you probably have heard already, but the monthly rate is actually going up. So we are going to be budgeting more than we have been previously. That comes out on the 2nd, and that is $45. It was, I think, $39, and then now I think it's like $44 or $45. I'm budgeting $45. I don't know exactly what's going to come out quite yet because I do have to pay, like, I think there's taxes and stuff on that. So I'm putting $45. We'll kind of readjust that next month if we need to, but it's probably close enough. And I do round off these numbers anyway. So if it's a little bit off, I'll probably just leave it at $45. Then next we have our internet, and that comes out on the 29th, and that is $60. Then we have giving, which is a category we added for this year. So what we've been doing for the last few months is just allotting this money and then kind of deciding in the month where we want to donate it to based on the month and based on kind of what's going on. We've just been called to like give it different places every single month, but I've actually been considering, and I know I talked about this, I think in my last budget video or maybe my budget closeout video, but I think I might set up a reoccurring donation. I was actually thinking of St. Jude, which was a recommendation I got on the video that I asked for recommendations about. It's a place that we've actually donated before, and I think it's just a really good charity and just a place that I feel like would do well with our $100. So I'm thinking I might just set up a recurring donation every single month so that I don't have to think about it as much, and it's just a recurring thing that I can just kind of check off as it comes out. So that's my thought on that. I feel like I want more automation in our budget right now. We're going really into a really busy few months of our lives. It's summer. We are possibly going to be selling our house in the next few months, and I'm going back to work. We both work full time. I do YouTube on the side. We have 3 kids. Like, our lives are really busy right now. My husband also coaches baseball. I'm on the board of our baseball league, and my son plays baseball multiple times a week. So it's just, our lives are crazy right now. So I'm looking for a little bit more automation. Let me know what you guys think of that. If you do any donations or tithing, do you have it automatically drafted out of your account, or is it something that you like to touch? I think part of why I haven't done an automated is because I kind of like the process of like picking out a charity and physically like typing in the $100 and donating it. Like, I feel like it gives me like some joy in like actually doing the process. But again, I feel like I'm just needing some more automation. So I think that's what we're going to do moving forward. Let me know what you guys think, or let me know what you guys do if you have a budgeting category for giving or tithing. Next up is a category that we haven't had in a little while, and that is preschool. So my daughter was in a preschool program a few months ago. If you've been on my channel that long, you probably recall that, but she did lose her spot because of staffing issues. The preschool that we went to previously, they basically cut their part-time program because of staffing issues. And so we had to pull her out, which was fine because I was actually going on maternity leave anyway. So I've had her home with me, but now that I'm going back to work, I need her to be going back to school. Long story short, we have a different preschool that we're going to be sending her to. So I'm excited for her. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I love the school. It's great. We are going to be budgeting $600 for the month of June. She's actually not starting until the second week of June. So this is for 3 weeks. It's about $200 a week. I don't know the exact amount quite yet because I haven't gotten all the forms yet from her daycare. I will update that if we need to, but I believe it'll be about $600 for this month. And then it'll probably be about $800 moving forward. So it's definitely a significant expense for us, but preschool is very expensive. If you guys have kids, you probably know that. So it's very pricey, but it's worth it to me. I am excited for her to go back. And yes, it's been nice to have the break though in our budget. It's definitely allowed us to get ahead on our financial goals up until this point in the year. And now we will kind of just be slowing down a little bit, which is totally fine. Financial goals will ebb and flow throughout your life. As we get side hustle income, that will still 100% go towards our financial goals. So we will still be putting a decent amount towards our goals, just not as much as we have been able to the first 5 months of this year. So that is the preschool expense. And then the only other fixed expense is our electric bill. And we have been budgeting $200 a month. That's been working out pretty well. That's been pretty close to right on. I think it'll be a little bit high for this month because May is typically a little bit of a lower electricity month for us. It's typically a little bit mild weather, although it's actually been pretty hot here. It's been like 80, 90 plus degrees. So it's pretty crazy. We've actually been running our AC. I think $200 should cover it just fine. It'll probably be a little bit less than that, but that's all good. So let's go ahead and add up our fixed expenses. So we've got $1,284 for our mortgage, $130 for our cell phones, $16 for Netflix, $45 for Peloton, $60 for internet, $100 for giving, $600 for preschool, and $200 for electric, which brings us to a total of $2,435, which if we minus off our income leaves us with $4,565. So then moving up to our variable expenses, these are expenses that typically change month to month or that are very variable as it suggests, like our groceries and gas and miscellaneous and all those things. So first we have our personal spending, which this month is a little bit different for personal spending as well because my husband is actually going to Vegas. So he's actually going to Vegas on a work trip. So it's not, a completely fun trip. So he doesn't need too much extra, but we are going to be giving him extra personal money so that he has some money for like dining out and just extra stuff that he wants to do while he's there. And yes, so he is going to be getting $250 this month for his personal spending, and I will be taking my normal $100, which I'm totally fine with. I hope that he has an awesome trip. I'm really excited for him, and I wish that I could go, but with 3 little kids, it's just not in the cards for us this time. And that's fine. So he will be going to Vegas in a few weeks, which is really exciting. Then for our gas money, we have been doing $125, which has been working out well for us. It's been, we've been getting up there. We've been getting close to the top of that budget. So we possibly might have to increase it if gas prices don't come down. I think we might honestly go over that budget in the month of May. I haven't closed out May yet. Obviously, May is not over yet. But yeah, we're definitely spending more in gas because gas prices have gone up significantly again. So this might be a budget. I have like a watch on this budget right now. We're just checking out and seeing where we're at with this budget, but might have to increase that moving forward. We'll see. Groceries is a budget that we have increased multiple times over the last few months, and we are currently at $700. That's been working out great for us. I feel like that's a good budget for us. Again, we are a family of 5, although my son is not eating like food, he's still exclusively nursing, so he's pretty much free, minus like diapers and wipes and stuff. So that does go into our groceries. So our grocery category is also like our household goods, diapers, wipes, paper goods, things like that, toilet paper, all that is in this budget. So $700 for a family 5, I feel like is pretty reasonable. And then family fun is another category. I used to call this family/kids, but I changed the name to family fun. I feel like that's a more accurate name for it. So we budget $100 a month. That will really come in handy over the summertime. I feel like we're just doing more things outside the home in the summer, and yeah, that's just kind of what we're using that money for. Miscellaneous is just our category for like a catch-all of anything that doesn't really fit into any other categories or anything that we don't want to pull from sinking funds, things like that. We've been budgeting $200. That's been working great. And finally, we have dining out. So we've been doing $250 a month for this, and that has also been working out great. We've been pretty good on that budget in the month of May. I'm very happy with what we've been doing this month for that budget, so I'm excited. And hopefully we'll be under budget in that category this month again. I think we were under budget in April as well. So that's awesome. So let's go ahead and add these up. So we have $350 for personal spending, $125 for gas, $700 for groceries, $100 for family fun, $200 for miscellaneous, and $250 for dining out, which gives us a total variable expenses of $1,725. And that leaves us with a total remaining of $2,840. So next we're going to move down to our sinking funds. So let's see, our sinking funds, we are doing car, home, Christmas, kids, and vacation. So for our car sinking fund this month, we are doing $50. For home, we are doing $75. For Christmas, we are doing $75. For kids, we're doing $50. And for vacation, we are doing $75. We don't have any vacations really planned for the next few months at least. I'm hoping we will be going on vacation for spring break in 2023 though. So that's definitely something that's on our radar. We might have to increase our vacation sinking fund money every month leading up to that. But that's kind of something I'm waiting to know for sure, like what we're doing before we increase it. So we're just going to keep it at 75 for now. So let's go ahead and add that up. So we've got 50 for car, 75 for home, 75 for Christmas, 50 for kids, and 75 for vacation. So that's $325 going into our sinking funds. And that leaves us with a remaining of $2,515. So I did just want to mention our kids sinking fund. So what we use that for, because I do get a lot of questions on our sinking funds because I feel like we have very broad sinking fund categories, and that's just what works for us personally. So like our car sinking fund, we use that mostly for car repairs, car registration, things like that. Home, we use for like little house project, any maintenance on our house, like filters or refrigerator filters or anything like that. Christmas, obviously for Christmas, gifts and hosting and all the extra donations that we want to do and everything that's surrounding Christmas. Kids is what we use for like back to school, and then miscellaneous kids expenses like school fees and things like that, and sports fees as well. And then vacation, obviously for any vacations we have planned. But I do also use that fund sometimes for some items like, zoo passes or things that are kind of vacation-esque. I don't know. I get a lot of questions on sinking funds, you guys, and you just have to find what works for you. Some people really enjoy having very broad categories like myself, and some people really enjoy having like 18 different sinking funds that are very, very specific. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. It just is what works for you. So play around with it. Try doing very specific sinking funds, and if that's not working for you, then maybe try more broad categories and just play around with it and see what works. It's just like any other thing in budgeting. You just have to work with what you have and just play around with it. So that leaves us with $2,515 to our financial goals. So I'm not going to break it out yet because that's something that I do every single Friday. So I'm just going to put our $2,515 here so that we know that that is the amount we have to play with. Again, we do typically have side hustle income as well that will go towards our financial goals. So we will typically pay more than this towards our financial goals every single month, but this is kind of just our bare minimum that we want to send to financial goals. We do typically have a goal of sending around 40% of our income to our financial goals, and this is actually about 35%. But since we do typically have side hustle income, that should push us over the 40%. And again, we do have some extra expenses this month, like my husband going to Vegas and the preschool expense that we haven't had in previous months. So we're just trying to, do the best we can. We try to send as much money as we can to our financial goals while also trying to live our lives and do the best we can. So that's all we can do. Anyways, that is all I have for this budget video with you guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you've done your June budget. If there's anything you feel like I'm missing in my budget for June, I would love to hear about it. Oh, I did want to mention Father's Day. So my husband and I are not huge holiday spenders. We typically will just go out to lunch or dinner on Mother's Day and Father's Day. It's not a huge spending holiday for us. So I didn't actually put anything in here. We will buy our fathers some like smaller gifts, and that will just come out of our miscellaneous budget. So I don't typically budget for smaller holidays like Father's Day, Mother's Day, 4th of July, Memorial Day, those kind of things. They just typically come out of our miscellaneous budget. So I did want to explain that because that might be something that you think that we're missing, but we do have a plan for that. Otherwise, I think we've pretty much covered everything in June, but let me know if you see anything that is blaringly obvious that you think that we should add for our budget, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye guys.